welcome to the Midwest Donut Review Show. However, today we're calling it the Mid-Southwest Donut Review Show because we are
That's an awful
in New
title.
Orleans,
What a
Louisiana.
terrible name.
Yes. So we're just going to do a little special episode for you fine folks. This is what you pay that extra money for us to travel on the road just to eat donuts.
Yep.
Because
That's
the only thing.
all we've done.
Yeah, there's been no alcohol or Cajun food or
Nothing.
Creole
Just the
food
donuts.
because we're just falling on the sword because that's how much we love you. So today's donut show. First of all, let me tell you, finding the first donut shop in New Orleans is all about the beignet.
Yeah. You can't find just like a regular donut.
Well, I mean, eventually
Well,
we
you
did.
could, but
It's a needle in a haystack here
Yes.
because beignets is the way to go. So the little bit, and we're definitely going to show you a little episode with a beignet only show before we get out of this town.
probably.
But the little that I've been able to find out about the beignet is that it was brought over from the French, and they used a raised yeast or even a choux dough. The choux is the batter that they use to make eclairs. So if you know that consistency, then you know what a beignet is all about. And it's almost sacrilege to put anything except powdered sugar only on the beignets. So we ate at a joint yesterday that had some sort of over-the-top beignet flavor, like a salted caramel cream with whipped cream and I'm like,
Except we didn't eat there because we're only here for donuts.
Yes, we were just walking by to see what their
We
donut.
were on our way to a donut shop and we saw that
So-
with a sign on the outside.
So here is our limited knowledge of beignets. Since I can't give you any information on frickin' donuts in New Orleans, is that they're served in 3, and it is out of respect for the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's why when you get beignets, they come in 3s. When we order donuts, they come in 12s. So today's stop, City Donuts Cafe. It's been on a bunch of top 10 donut review places. We'll be the judge of that. They're at 3301 South Claiborne Avenue here in New Orleans. And quite honestly, just a little 20-minute walk for us on our jaunt.
It was a little on the way there.
Yeah.
It was long on the way back.
Yeah, it's always longer getting back home. So, it's a traditional donut place. They do breakfast sandwiches. They do coffees. So,
They had fried chicken there too.
fried chicken. I did. Wings on the end there. Yeah. So it is the City Donuts Cafe. So it's not just a donut joint. And, so Eric has started since I'm going to take a wild stab. He has no donut news of the week here for today's episode.
This isn't a full episode.
It's not a full episode, so we're not doing it that way.
Nope.
And even though I'm still giving, tidbits of information about other stuff, that's okay.
You sound okay about it.
So, normally our show starts off with us eating glazed donuts, and Eric has already partaken.
Yeah, I got it.
So, you go ahead, you go give your review. It's
Okay.
not going to affect anything that I'm doing.
Okay, so this is a really fucking solid glazed donut, in my opinion. I think the dough isn't as fluffy as I'd like a glazed donut to be, but it's not dense by any means. My first couple bites, I kind of got it almost felt like granulated sugar in the glaze, but after a while, that kind of went away and it was just the glaze. It flakes off a bit, which I don't love, but I don't know, in terms of glazed messes I've made on myself in this show, it's not in the top 10, so I can't be too upset with it. But
Yeah.
I think it's a really sweet dough, too. I think the dough is really flavorful, which you don't always get.
It is.
So, and I think the best thing about this donut, a glazed single, if you go in there and you go, I would like one glazed donut, they will say, that will be 89 cents, please. That's
91 with tax.
insane. That's insanely good. So just with a pretty good glazed donut and an unbelievable price point, I want to give this like a 4. Just a 4 right down the middle.
Wow. I agree that it doesn't melt in your mouth. It is chewier, but it is a good dough. And while I got the flaked glaze aspect, it's a really good glaze. Not too sweet. It's laid on the donut really well.
Yeah.
It's not top and bottom. But that's where I got sort of more of the glaze on the bottom of the donut, maybe being exposed to the air, crisped up the top glaze, but the bottom glaze was just where it's still a liquid. It was excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's solid. And I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go 3.8 because I really love the melt in your mouth donut,
Yeah.
and this is
a
little bit chewy.
I
for
think
me.
you're a little
bit.
more used to a really good price. I
Yeah.
will never get an 89-cent donut in Sacramento. Ever.
Have you ever heard of Day Old?
That's still not 89 cents.
Oh man.
There's still no way. Okay, which one should we do next?
So I think maybe we should do break that one of those cake donuts in half.
Strawberry or blueberry?
I think
Wait, is this a chocolate yeast?
it is chocolate glazed dough.
Yeast.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before.
Nope. Crack it in half. We're gonna review that bad boy right now. We might do more than 3 for this show because, well, quite frankly, we have more than 3.
Okay, so the glaze flaking
It's
off is
chocolate dough.
Yeah, I've never seen this
Chocolate
before.
yeast glazed donut. It's almost coffee. I'm getting a really strong coffee vibe out of the dough.
I really fuck with this. I really like this.
It's definitely not cake dough.
No.
Chocolate yeast. I am a fan.
Yeah, I really like this. It's a really good dough on top of a really good glaze. A flakiness I don't love.
Yeah, it's a little messy. That's all right. That donut.
I think it's the same price.
I think it might be one of the $9s. I'm not really sure how this.
1 buttermilk drop, 2 glazed singles. Well, that doesn't make sense.
I know because we got 4.
glazed.
But here, she charges for 6.
1 iced filled.
Half dozen iced filled, single iced filled. Okay, we only have 2 filled donuts.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused.
But here,
God damn, that's a huge fly. Jesus.
I think maybe the filled and the regular, because 6 for $5.49
Yeah.
is 91 cents a piece. So I think that's what it is. Even the chocolate yeast glaze.
It's still 90 cents.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So,
And the
wow.
fact I've never seen that before.
And it's tasty as hell.
Yeah, I want to rate it higher than the glaze. I think I want to give it like a 4.1. Because it's not like
Cheap, tasty,
tasty.
unique, but not unique like we're going to put cereal crumbs on it.
Yeah,
And we're going to
not
inject it
stupid
with.
unique. Not baby unique.
Yes. Yes.
Unique that goes, oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And it's
Friggin'
really
tasty.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
4.1 is my score.
You know what? I'm gonna go 4.1 also, just based on unique, but it's still in the ballpark.
Yeah.
It's not a weird. It's not a different dough. Well, other than
The
it's
flavor.
different yeast dough, but it's That's
Yeah.
a really excellent donut.
Hell yeah.
Nicely
City
done.
donuts. All right, blueberry or strawberry?
Well, I think most folks are familiar with the blueberry, so I think the strawberry will be fabulous, and it may end up on today's show as well. So, for you, my initial reaction is this is more of an old-fashioned, just from the crags on the top of it.
Yeah, maybe the fryer oil wasn't super
at the right
high.
temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strong blueberry flavor.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe, for me, the glaze is overpowering it just a little bit. Like it's not letting the blueberry dough shine through, because it's really good.
The glaze is very sugary. And so you're not getting, I don't know, enough like tartness of the blueberry.
And to me, a cake donut is fried really well when it's soft all the way through, from the top, the middle, and the bottom. And this is crunchy. There's just no, it is a crunchy outside.
Yeah.
And I do love an old fashioned, but not when I think I'm getting a cake. So yeah, I think you're probably right that it was not fried at the right temperature.
Yeah, the frying was off. I think the glaze being a little too sweet in comparison to the rest of the blueberry donut makes the whole thing a little too sweet.
Yeah, I almost spit this one out.
But I do like, I think,
Could I have what may be the first time in our show's history for me to drink whole milk on an episode?
ridiculous.
Now, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna peek in here and see if there's any almonds.
There better not be. Fucking knock that out of your hands.
No. This show is taking a turn.
Ridiculous. They said they didn't have any milk substitutes, and I wanted to thank them profusely for fighting the good fight against milk substitutes.
Wow, this is a weird sensation, man.
Yeah.
Whole milk.
Yeah, it tastes great, doesn't it? And it's so weird. Wow, I can't believe milk can taste good. Who knew?
Okay, since we're clearly going to ignore... Oh, sorry. No, put it over here so I can... Anyway. Today's special episode, we're going to shoot way past 3 tastings today. I think we will leave enough in the box.
Yeah, I think we'll
for wife and daughter.
I think we'll end with this one.
Oh.
Buttermilk drop.
I mean, I don't know how we... Yeah, okay. So this is a cake dough.
Yeah.
Is how it's been described to us. And it is quite literally the dough is dropped into the oil in whatever shape it ends up making, some sort of ball shape. And, buttermilk dough for us usually is found in an old-fashioned.
Oh, it comes in the buttermilk bar.
Yeah, but it's a very old-fashioned with the super crispy outside and the super soft inside. That's generally how we get it.
Tell me if I'm wrong. But I'm getting a little, lemon. There's something a little citrusy about it. And I really like it.
I absolutely get it. Yes.
I like how that kind of cuts through the heavy buttermilk.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
I can't really complain about crispy with cake dough in the middle because I don't know what this is. So
It looks like they just had a ball of buttermilk dough that they put in a ball and dropped in the fryer. And it's really excellent.
But fried very well.
It's fried
it's
super
not
good.
Greasy on the bottom. There's no grease layer. It wasn't in too long.
So they figured out at least how to fry them properly for the size and
it's not raw. In the middle, it just cooked very well.
yeah. And there's definitely a citrus kind of flavor in there that I think really adds to it.
Yeah, these donuts are thought out.
Yes.
This is not
An extra thing they just kind of throw in it. It's not like a donut hole.
right. And the little bit that I found about the buttermilk drop is that it is a New Orleans thing. It is a Southern thing, and there is a donut spot here in New Orleans that's just called the Buttermilk Drop, and that's too far away
too far to walk.
Plus, we didn't want to do a show about a new donut that we're not really familiar with. So we wanted to do a donut place that coincidentally just had them, which is good for all of you, because we get to impart more wisdom.
You're welcome.
As we say with great attitude. So remember to renew your $39.95 subscription to stay with the Midwest Donut Review Show. The Mid-South... West.
No, not west. East, mid-east, west, mid-southeast.
The Mid-Southeast West Donut.
Nope, no west, just mid-southeast.
You know who we're popular with right now, other than our many, many, many fans?
These swarms of flies?
Flies, yes. I'm going to guess the flies here in New Orleans do not often get a box of donuts set out in front of them, because
they're taking
jacked up on the crank. We're going to go inside.
Yeah.
And,
probably take some flies with us.
You guys are not allowed. Got to be honest, not allowed. We'll put a little something on the table, and then they
have all this glaze.
Yeah. We're not. You know,
napkins.
You know, when you rent a VRBO, you're not really as clean as normal.
Yeah.
But if our VRBO owners see this, oh my God, I was just kidding.
We'll clean it up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's all a joke.
You know, I didn't see anything in the property about don't spill glaze on the back deck.
Yeah. And everything has to be spelled out completely detailed for us to follow it.
So that ends this little episode from the City Donuts Cafe. And so if you're going to the City Donuts Cafe, Eric, what is the one or two donuts you gotta get?
I think you gotta get that chocolate yeast glazed donut. Gotta get that. Just because it's unique and it's very excellent. I think you got to get that buttermilk drop for sure.
Yes.
I think honestly you're good with those two, but that's a really solid start. And then anything after that, I feel like it's just.
I'm just going to throw this out there and let you be the captain.
Okay.
So we got a couple of jellies in there.
Yeah.
Should we taste a jelly? Pull a jelly in half and
no. Okay. I'm not sharing a donut with you that we don't rip in half, and I'm not ripping a filled donut.
Okay. So, the next time you're in New Orleans, please have a jelly donut from City Donuts Cafe and let us know.
Tell them Midwest Donut sent you, and you'll get nothing. They have no idea we were there.
Which is why we charge you so little to be part of the program.
Yep.
It's a shared pain that we have for this.
All right.
Here's the only other story I want to tell today. We had a choice to Uber to whatever donut place we went to and Uber back and then do the show. Or we could save a few dollars and learn from our lesson in Greece to not just Uber to a donut place and then Uber back home. Do you remember the cost of the Uber ride for basically a donut show, Eric?
Wasn't it like $100?
$120. So
it wouldn't have been as expensive, but that's still ridiculous.
Yes. And so we didn't want to have the accounting department come down hard on us again.
Yeah, they
about
were pretty
excessive Uber costs.
They were pretty upset about the last.
It does get brought up at most of the board meetings.
Yeah, it comes out pretty often.
Yeah, we thought, here's a stick, here's a dead horse, go to town. Mm-hmm. And so at every meeting we do hear the $120 Greece Uber story.
Yes.
Still. So
not even, and we didn't even get a donut there. We got a fucking cinnamon roll.
Which, as we all know, are donuts.
They're not.
So
they're cinnamon rolls. If they were donuts, they'd be called donuts.
And of course, in Greece, they do call them donuts, as we've seen video evidence of it.
No.
So it was written right there on the card, donut,
and that
in
was
front of
the only
cinnamon roll-looking donut.
That called it a donut.
Yeah. So when in Rome, do as the Romans. When in Greece, do as the Grecians. So they're saying donut, and what kind of ugly Americans are we to say? No, sir. You do not know your own nomenclature.
I think a cinnamon roll is Greek. I think they made cinnamon rolls.
The Greeks?
Yeah. They invented cinnamon rolls. Because then it's not theirs to call whatever the fuck they want.
It's
not like they made them and called them donuts, and then we took them and we're like, no, they're not donuts, they're cinnamon rolls.
The Greeks are one of the founders of food that has gone worldwide. I mean, that was one of the advanced cultures in our society.
Yeah.
And they were the ones learning
Are
cooking
you
techniques.
going to tell me that they invented the cinnamon roll? Is that what you're about to say?
I would say you and me both do not know who invented the cinnamon roll.
I don't know who did it, but I'm fairly certain it's not the Greeks.
You know, the people who tell me the stuff they don't know, oh, there's a lizard on that thing, on that garage topper next door.
Yeah, there is.
Do you guys want to see the lizard?
No,
I'm kidding. It's just going to be a moment Eric and I witness.
And you get to witness us witnessing it.
Yes. And
he's green.
Yeah, and if he comes over on the porch, you'll see us end the show so effing fast.
Yeah, I don't want
to. That'll be us running inside from a big old scary.
He's not that big.
Lizard with a tail.
His tail makes him very long. He's so fast.
So you keep an eye on him while I finish. So that's the part of the story I wanted to tell you is that do not take an Uber in Greece for a donut show.
Yes.
That's the lesson to take away today. So we'll be back with a beignet mini show the next time you guys see us after today for the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave. That's Eric. In the southeast part of the United States, doing due diligence on the donuts. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you very soon. Well, fans, we promised, we've delivered. Dave, Eric, Midwest Donut Review Show in New Orleans with the world famous beignet. Eric, how is this different than a donut?
I mean, structurally not very. It's fried dough. I'd say it's a little closer to like a funnel cake than a donut would be.
Yes. It's made with a choux dough, leavened dough that gives it its pillowy texture, and the hardcore purists will have only powdered sugar on their beignet.
Alright. It's gonna be a fucking mess. Oh god. All over.
But how is it?
Crispy on the outside. What do you think she fried? About 30 of them at a time?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting them to be this
We
solid.
are at the Cafe du Monde, which is the most famous place in New Orleans for the beignet. He's choked up. He loves when I give him history lessons. And this is not the original Cafe du Monde. We are outside the New Orleans Metropolitan Museum of Art, where the lines are a little bit shorter. Same traditional chicory coffee and beignets is the go-to. Eric and I are not coffee drinkers, so it's not our go-to. So, I mean, could you pick
That
for
was a
yourself?
sign from God blowing the napkins towards us.
Do you, could you see yourself ordering these every couple weeks if you lived here?
Yeah, absolutely. This is awesome. This is really good. I can't. And with that, we'll
No.
leave you.
We had talked about how this was not going to be a messy show.
Yeah. No, you had talked
and
about
I
it.
have both
said,
turned this into a
I
riotous
said
act.
this was going to be messy, and you proved me correct. And with that,
We got to give a score here, man. Are you kidding?
it feels wrong. I can't remember the last time I've had beignets. Like, I can't compare this to like a donut because it's different.
Give it a score. Tell me how much you would order it next time.
How much I would 100% order it again.
So easily,
But the thing is, like, Cafe Du Mond's like a huge like tourist thing, so I have to imagine there's better beignets out there.
Oh, I think you're messing with the different, buddy.
I don't know. I would say like 4.5. Not perfect, but room to grow.
I think that's fair.
Still very, very.
Excellent. All right, so that's been mini episode number 28.75.
Nope. I'm just gonna put these like in a real episode.
In a real episode. See Dave and Eric, Midwest Donut Review Show. Next time, no beignets, maybe donuts
Yes, donuts.
from St. Louis.
There will be yeah,
Together.
donuts.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
One.
Great day. See you soon.
Good morning, fans, and welcome to the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, and this is Eric Leggett, not in Sacramento today, actually home in St. Louis. We're going to do a show.
Look, there's no box.
Two Leggetts doing a donut show next to each other. The what is this called? The fourth wall? Have we broken the fourth wall? Is that what this is?
If we talked directly to someone watching.
Aren't we doing that with you right now, sir?
I don't think.
I just did that.
I don't
with
know.
someone.
I don't think this qualifies as.
So, maybe by now you've seen our mini episode from New Orleans where we vacationed together and had some donuts and had some exploding beignets.
I might just throw all of these together as one, like, bonus episode.
Well, okay then. And so since this is a non-traditional show, we're going to not go with the regular format of Donut News of the Week and our countdown of the playoff teams, cities, best donuts. And the more I think about it, we've probably done 5 or 6 now that I think about it.
Playoff cities?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah. St. Louis, Montreal, for sure.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
I mean, have we done a full thing on the city of Montreal, or did we just mention Montreal?
No, well, we did an episode from Montreal. You're cat distracted, sir.
Yeah.
Let them go. They'll do what they're going to do.
I'll bring them on.
There's a term called herding cats, and everyone knows how effing difficult that is. So you got to get that cat out of your brain and focus on what's at hand. And what do we do best? Eat donuts and tell you what's good. So since we're doing a kind of a special show, we're headed to one of St. Louis's special places. This is Vincent Van Donut. Started in 2013. It was St. Louis's first food truck. And now they have a couple of brick and mortar joints. And the one we visited today is the original 1072.
So St. Louis's first ever food truck was a donut truck?
No, first ever donut food truck.
Oh,
there were other
okay.
food trucks, but the first donut only food
pretty
truck.
crazy. The first
Yeah.
food truck ever. It's like,
No,
donuts.
no. First donut food truck. So, yeah, so popular that they were able to turn it into a couple brick and mortar joints. So, still going strong 12 years later. And got to be honest, I was a little afraid it was going to be kind of a frou-frou joint where they're like, our donuts are the best donuts. But the two ladies that helped us today were as friendly as any donut place I've been in.
Very down to earth. Which is nice.
Now, I will tell you the prices
Not exactly down to
are
earth.
very frou-frou. And we will tell you momentarily if it is worth it or not. I will tell you, the guy who brings in a dozen donuts from Vincent Van Donut to his coworkers.
Yeah, the coworkers are like, thanks, but I don't know if we get paid enough for this shit, man. I don't
Are we
know.
about to get let go?
Yeah, what's going on? We do not make the kind of money that involves you bringing a dozen of Vincent Van Donuts
Yeah.
every week.
So, we did not grab the receipt that had individual prices on it. $3.70 was the lowest priced donut we bought today, which is absolutely qualifying as
Yeah.
as a specialty donut, and $5.20 were some of the bigger filled donuts, and so we're gonna check out one of those today. As far as like This is where you go get glazed donuts and fritters and old fashioned and Long Johns. That's not what Vincent Van Donut is about. So it's going to be a little bit.
Feathers, idiot.
It's going to be a little different to compare these straight up to other donut places. So our job here really today is to tell you you're going to pay more, and is it worth it? Right? Because some donuts are worth the price. Maybe not a dozen of them, but
Yeah. A dozen is a extra special treat.
yeah, this is a big ask. This is like a special occasion kind of place. But again, it might be a place where they're so effing good that you go in, you get a cup of coffee and 2 donuts. It costs you a little bit, but it's an excellent start to your day. So, without further ado, let's get to tasting. So our first donut is a vanilla iced glaze. It's a yeast dough. It's a square donut, which is really unusual. Not all of them. Their cake donuts are round, but their specialties are square, and the vanilla ice glazed. Clearly not on
No.
none on the side. So to me, this better be awesome because you
like-
have so lightly glazed it.
It's more of a glaze icing than it is a glaze. Like it's like a glaze flavored icing instead of just glazed.
Yes, yes. Like you would find it on a cake as opposed to a donut. But
I really like the texture of the icing. And it kind of melts away while you're eating it.
I think this donut needs the icing. I think the cake by itself,
Well, it's not cake.
the dough by itself. My favorite yeast is one that melts in your mouth. This does not melt in your mouth. It's a chewy dough.
Yeah, but it is chewy, but for how thick and big it is, it's definitely not as chewy as you'd think.
It's 4 by 4 3/4, so not perfect square. It's 1.5 inches tall. 1.5 inches tall is very standard
Yeah.
for a glazed donut, for a yeast glazed donut.
But it's definitely like 4x4 on the surface doesn't sound much bigger than regular donuts, but this is a 4x4 square instead of a 4x4 circle. So you're getting the corners. So you're getting more donut, 100%.
Yes.
And I really like the texture, honestly. For its size, I think it.
I mean, it's fried
works.
very well.
Yeah.
It's not greasy at all. They have the science part down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chewing going on here, man.
It's a big, thick donut. I think for its price, you need something with, Jesus, what is he doing? Is this how it always is when you're recording the show?
Every show.
This is complete chaos. I could
Yeah.
not focus in this environment. I cannot do this show with this much going on.
Calvin climbing the chair, putting his butt on the table. Millie upside down,
Completely freaking
flipping
out.
around.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is chaos. What was I saying?
It's
How-
a big, thick donut.
Yeah.
And so it lends itself to being chewy.
Yeah, and I don't mind it. I think if it was just like a standard glaze on that dough, I think it would not be as good. But I think the glaze icing, I think works better with the texture of the dough than just like a standard glaze would be.
It needs it for sure.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to the score.
I think
Knowing
mine,
that it's $3 $3.70.
I think I want to give this like a 3.7. I say I've definitely had better standard glazed donuts.
At a much better price.
Yes, but I like the size of this, and I like the glaze icing. So I think if it was, the dough was a little fluffier, and definitely if it was cheaper, it'd be a much better score. But I think 3.7 is where I'm at.
I am going to go a little lower than that. I'm going to go 3.5. I can't get past the price and the chewiness.
I don't mind the chewiness.
Okay. To each his own. Up next, a chocolate cake. 4 by
Look how thick that
4,
is.
round, 1 inch tall. That's a very standard size. Sour cream old fashioned is how they position this chocolate cake with the glaze. This is not the same glaze that was on that.
No, this is an actual glaze, not like a glaze icing. First impressions, I really fucking like it.
It's a dark chocolate cake. For me, it's a little dry.
I'm kind of getting that. I think the glaze helps in that regard. But I really like the flavor. This is a really good chocolate.
This is not even as light as a chocolate birthday cake. It's even thicker than that for me.
I'd say this is close to like a brownie.
Yeah. I don't want my cake donut to taste like a brownie.
I like brownies.
I do too. When I want a brownie, I want to eat a brownie. When I want a chocolate cake donut, I want it to be its own entity. This needs the icing to succeed. That's not the sign of a good donut for me.
That's true.
This is a chocolate cake donut. It's $3.70.
I think if you're a fan of chocolate, this is absolutely the donut to get.
Time for a score.
The flavor, I think, is the best thing about this for me. I really like the chocolate flavor. It is a little dry, and I kind of wish the glaze shined a bit more, because you're getting such a strong chocolate flavor. I don't think I liked it as much as the glaze icing donut, though.
Yeah, I don't either. And it was not a tremendous score for the glaze.
So I think I want to give this one a 3.6. I think really the flavor of this saves it. Because I think if you give this to someone who really likes chocolate, and I really like chocolate, I think they're going to have a good time with it.
For this price point,
And I
for this
think
donut,
at this price point, I think this also lends itself to like getting this and like maybe another donut, and you're like, you're good for breakfast because of how thick and dense it is. Like, you will not need to eat another donut.
this is a 3.2 for me.
That's God, that seems low.
It's, if this was a $1.50 donut, I'd probably go higher.
Yeah.
And considering most every chocolate cake donut I purchased in this town is $1.50 or lower, you're going to raise my price 2.5 times. It needs to be twice as good. It's not. It is a chewy cake. I like my cake donut to be the same sensation from the top to the bottom. If a donut is being rescued by its glaze or its icing, the donut by itself is not good enough. 3.2. So, man, I'm a little bummed. I was really hoping that we're throwing out some big scores for some great donuts, but that price is just keeping me from. Has nothing to do with them being an artisan shop. It has nothing to do with, I bet it does take extra time.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous shop, all of it. But this is not a donut for people who regularly eat donuts. This is for a special occasion donut.
Special occasion donut. This is like if you have someone visiting, you're like, oh, I know where I should take them for a donut.
Yeah. What do you remember how much the apple fritter was from the big as your head apple fritter
Donut Palace?
at Donut Palace?
Was it like $6?
It was $5.20. But it was gargantuan, and it
really
tasted great. And it's the size of 4 donuts. Would you spend $1.25 for an apple fritter? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would I spend $1.25 for a tiny chocolate cake donut? No way.
I don't think it was that.
Yeah. All right, let's see if they can be rescued. Take a look at this monstrosity, people.
This is, I think this is what Vincent Van Donut kind of specializes in.
Yeah.
Crazy shit like this. Look at this.
Cookie.
Just a fucking chunk of cookie dough on the top.
And it's edible cookie dough. They made that very clear.
All cookie dough is edible.
This is not dangerous for you to eat. How about that? It's a yeast dough, graham cracker, mini chocolate chips, vanilla icing, chocolate ganache. It's a mess, apparently, for you to eat.
Whoa.
This is a $5.20 donut. Okay? The epitome of a frou-frou donut.
There's a lot happening with this donut.
It's beautifully decorated.
Mm-hmm.
Very enticing. It has that same vanilla icing glaze that was on the yeast.
Yeah.
That is over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest. I'd love to have some in this donut. Filled it with some cookie dough or something.
Well, I think that'd be too much.
Only because it's my same issue. If you're just if you're biting from the bottom where there's nothing.
Okay. That was one of the most psychopathic things I've ever seen a person do in my life.
How good is the dough? It's just chewy and not that spectacular.
Yeah. So that's why they put a bunch of shit on.
I'm not saying this is lipstick on a pig. Because it's pretty good.
It's a lot. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, eating one of these by yourself would be a lot.
Yeah. I'm eating half the donut. It feels like I'm eating just like one regular donut.
But it's $5.20. That's a big ask.
Yeah. I mean, for out here, I feel like that being $5 out in Sacramento is a pretty good price. If you think out in Sacramento, that would be like a $7 donut.
Well, here in St. Louis, where you can get a ton of great donuts for under $2. If you're going to ask somebody to spend $5, over $5 for one donut, I think it just needs to be remarkable.
Or special. Or unique. And
Yeah.
I think this qualifies as unique for sure.
Yeah.
$5 is pretty steep. But for as much as was going on with this donut, I never felt like overwhelmed with it all.
Yeah, you only ate half.
That's true.
You would be overwhelmed if you ate that
I
whole
ate the
thing.
full thing, probably.
And
Yeah,
then
'cause,
you
yeah,
would-
eating half the donut felt like he was eating one donut.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
I would feel weird, especially, again, going back where we're selling these donuts. Mm-hmm. If that donut was $2.60, half price, $2.60, I would start to give it some loving. But for $5.20, give me an excellent donut. It's not an excellent donut. It's not excellent.
Yeah. I think I liked it more than the chocolate, but still not as much as just the plain.
See,
Glazed icing.
so you're gonna go mid threes again, aren't you?
Yeah, I think 37.
Yeah, I'm going 3.2. It's just for $2.60, it would be a better score, but we take everything into consideration. Do you think he's going to stop? Hey, Calvin, say hello to everybody. He's just going to be fussy. Oh, he wants to touch your face. Yeah, that means I want to get down. Mother effer.
That means thank you. Put me on the show.
Damn. I really wanted this to be awesome.
Yeah. This was a little more for the aesthetic than the taste, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I got a little too lost in the viewing than the eating.
Yeah.
Which, granted, you eat with your eyes first.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say the more important part of eating is the taste.
The cookie, they were all done very well. They were all fried very well.
Especially with how big they are. Like,
Yes.
getting that frying
Yeah.
and the proofing and
It's
the
not-
dough in a spot where it's consistent.
Zero issues with technique.
Yeah. So they know what they're doing over there.
Mm-hmm,
It's
for
just
sure.
what they're doing maybe isn't
Hey, look,
as
man.
good as it needs to be.
They've been in business 12 years,
Yeah,
and they can charge $5 for a donut and stay in business.
Yeah.
I'm not buying donuts from them.
No.
Maybe I'm not the target audience.
Yeah. I don't think we are, honestly. People who eat donuts on a regular basis.
Right.
I think this is just too much of a departure from that. That it's I don't know, I want to say like a shock to the system kind of, because it's so unlike any other just standard donut shop.
Because here's the thing. A dozen donuts with tax and tip was $50. Tell me the number of people you know that spend $50 on a dozen donuts.
Me,
On a regular basis?
not on a regular basis. But
This is what I'm saying.
I did do that.
So how often, if your business model is based on people who do this on special occasions, how many special occasions a year do you have?
Yeah,
where Vincent Van Donut is your dozen box delivered.
Yeah, this is not a shop that you go in and you get a dozen donuts. This is a shop where you go in with like two of your friends and you each get a donut. And then that's it. Maybe a coffee and you leave.
Yeah, or three of them and you split them.
Yeah.
But no, not the traditional shop, and they don't
You know
try
what
to
they
be.
should do? They should offer donut flights and make like mini versions.
They actually have something that I've seen on the website. Mini Vinnies is what they're called. That
man.
might be more up our alley.
Yeah, I think that's them. I think that's the best way to present those donuts.
Because it's a big honkin' mamba jamba.
Yeah.
This cookie dough, this yeast cookie dough.
Yeah. I can't imagine eating like a chunk of cookie dough at, what time is it? 10 a.m.
Breakfast.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, again, has nothing to do with, I know they do a lot of charitable work through Vincent Van Donut, and I know, look, they got 2 shops that are open and thriving, and on their website it says from 6 a.m. until sold out. So they're doing something right to sell out their donuts, because certainly they're not making, 1,000 donuts a day in their shop.
No way. They would lose money
Yeah.
if they did that.
Yeah. So they have found a price point at which people are willing to pay, but not the Midwest Donut Review Show people.
Nope.
Can't do this on any kind of regular basis. I would rather have a dozen donuts that I frickin' love
Then 3 that are like pretty good.
Yeah. So, all right. So that wraps up this edition of the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave. That's Eric. Both in St. Louis today. Don't know when we'll be able to get a chance to do this again, but it's nice for sure. And how can people interact and tell us to go fuck off that Vincent Van Donut's the best fucking donut on the planet?
If you're watching on YouTube, to comment on the YouTube video, subscribe, like the video, rate the video, share the video. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, rate and review the show. But you have to give us a 5-star review. It's the only way we'll see what you wrote. If you didn't give a 5-star review, I won't read.
Yeah, pretend that we're not selling $5.20 donuts.
Yes, you have to give us a 5-star review.
If you want more effing great content like this, do the 5-star. Come on.
Come on.
And let us know where to go. So I know some of you are thinking, go to hell. Go fuck off. I get it. Anybody who loves Vincent Van Donut's not going to dig this show.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I wanted to. Super
yeah,
nice
dude.
people, gorgeous shop,
Yeah,
great
they
looking
look great.
donuts.
They look so good.
Man, but the price point for me, just sinks this shop for me on any sort of regular basis. And quite honestly, even for a special occasion. If it's my birthday and somebody brings me donuts, I'd rather have a dozen donuts, a dozen glazed donuts from Donut Stop than 3 or 4 of these fruit donuts.
Yeah, I think it's just a demographic that's not us.
No, this is for people who eat donuts on a regular basis, on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
You're getting them once a month somewhere. I just don't think this is that vibe.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you very soon again.
We'll see you very again.
Yeah, we will again. Very again. For the next show, Dave, Eric, Midwest Donut Review Show. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you very soon.